today. We're just going to show you some of the books that we've purchased recently because
we like books, we wanted to show you them. That's the gist of it.
And because we have no self-control and can't stop purchasing books.
Well, one of us doesn't have self-control.
One of us has the staff discounted bookstore.
Woohoo! So the first one that I got was this one, The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And to be honest, I don't know a whole lot about this book because this was gifted to me by my lovely friend Tiana as a kind of parting ways gift after our time in the Thornthwaite Inheritance, because it's like, if I need some more inheritance moods, now we have the Inheritance Game. And it's basically kind of like Murder the Bachelor.
My first one is The Adventures of Maud West, the Lady Detective by Susannah Stapleton, and it is based off the first female detective in the early 1900s. And I bought it because it's called The Adventures of Maud West, Lady Detective, and that's the only reason I have behind that decision.
Also, that cover is divine.
Absolutely.
I love the art as well. But
so is it a fiction story or is it?
That's a good question. I think it's non-fiction the way they tell it. They use facts throughout. So I think it's non-fiction. They might have creative license in some places because it's the 1900s. They may not have everything, but for the most part, non-fiction.
My first book. First of all, you should probably learn something about me. I haven't shut up about Dragon Age in approximately 6 months. So I bought the book. This book is basically just about the leadership of the Empire and who's going to be on the throne, and the scandals and the violence and the mysteries and just all that delicious, delicious goodness, but with like recurring characters that you've seen from the games, which we all appreciate.
My next one, this was a birthday gift from Ellie.
Yes, it was!
She gave me, and this is the new release from Trent Dalton, All Our Shimmering Skies. And as you guys would know, I am obsessed with Boy Swallow's universe that I read for the Reading Rush. So of course I wanted to read his new book that has been out.
It is very pretty.
It's beautiful, and it's a really cool story about, I haven't fully figured out the entire, hold on.
Put some elevator music over.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
It's an adventure story following a girl called Molly Hook and some of her travelling companions throughout Darwin in the 1940s, following some of the World War II chaos that happened.
And for it, things.
I just want to read it because it's Trent Dalton and it's pretty.
Alright, my next one is the Umbrella Academy series.
Wait, what is that? Never heard of that before. What is
Wow,
it?
you uncultured swine.
I know, right?
Okay, so it's a Netflix. It was originally a comic book by Gerard Way and Gabriel, and it's a comic book based off superpowered siblings. And it was changed into a Netflix show as well. I've heard that the characters are a little more in depth in this one. Specifically, Ellen Page's character has more character in this, which I'm excited to read because I don't like her character in the show. That's my thought.
My next book is from the Nevermoor series, and it is the third book in the series called Hollowpox. Now, if you don't know the story of Nevermoor, it's basically this girl who gets chosen to go to this magic school, and she has to go through all these trials in order to attend this school, and it's her following adventures through that. And in this one, there is a magical virus that has been unleashed upon the city of Nevermoor, and
That's a timely publication.
I know, I did notice that, and I think that's probably why it was delayed from February. We love Jessica Townsend's writing. It is fantastic, phenomenal, A+, just good stuff.
My next book was a bit of an indulgent purchase. This was The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman, which is my favourite Gaiman story. And it's about this boy. We see him as a kid and as an adult return to this house that he kind of grew up in, and all the kind of weird things that happen, and him kind of trying to piece those happenings together. And this is the illustrated version of it, so I had to get it because I'm a sucker for art. And I'm just going to try and show you.
And Neil Gaiman.
So I don't know if you can see, there's some gorgeous illustrations in there. So I got it.
My next one is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. You'll know her if you've read Very Love. This is another non-fiction book that is based on following your creative passions, and I was recommended it by a friend who also does creative things, and she said this is a must. So I bought it, I started reading it, and then I bought a copy for Bethany for her birthday. We clearly just buy Bethany books for her birthday.
Fine by me.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard no arguments from her.
I love the way it's written, and she speaks truths, and it feels good to be told you can do creative things.
Yeah, validate me. So my next one, I'm not sure if you've heard that, I'm a real big fan of the Dragon Age series.
What?
I know, it's a bit of a shock, but it's okay, I'll help you through this by forcing you to play the games.
I will play them.
Since Ashley here works at a game store, she got me a book, which is really fun. We like giving books as presents.
Funny that. The Swell Publications team likes books.
If you like gift books,
You should buy
Wait.
If you like giving gifts as books, we have a gift book that you can buy.
Yeah, buddy.
I love you more than. Available now at swellpublications.com. Woo!
do you love someone? How do they know?
You should tell them with a book. We can also verify that gift giving books is a very good idea. But point being, Ashley bought me this, which is a version of the RPG version of Dragon Age. You know Dungeons and Dragons? To put Dragon Age characters in it, make it better.
Dungeons and Dragon Age.
Hey!
So clever.
Why did
Creative
they not
genius.
call it that? They missed an opportunity.
Dragon Age characters, we love them. I love them. I will make them love them eventually. Yay.
So this is actually kind of funny because I texted Ashley and asked her to send me some recommendations of books. And so she sent some through because I've been reading through a whole bunch that Ellie has recommended me, and I was like, well, I probably should read some that my other business partner recommends me too. One of them was The Binding by Bridget Collins, which also turned into the November read for my Philip Scale book club that I'm part of. So I bought it because of the book club, but I'll get to talk to Ashley about one of her favourite books as well. And this is about, maybe you better describe this one because you understand it better.
It's about the concept of books being a magical binding between a person and their memory or their soul. And so the main character is an apprentice of a person who does said binding. And they find out a mystery while doing it.
It's magic and books, and I'm excited.
My next one is one that Mum bought me. It's the Fifth Avenue Story Society by Rachel Hauck. I don't know what it's about much, except that there's a secret society of literary people. You know I love book societies. So, yeah, there's a secret society and they indulge in the secrets of their lives and things they don't want to tell other people, and just kind of seems like a heartwarming book.
The funny thing about this is, Ashley brought this over and she was like, feel this book, it feels weird. And so Ellie felt it, she said,
Feels
ew,
gross.
it feels gross. And then I felt it and I'm like, it feels like a Christian book. And she goes, it's from the bookstore. So I feel like this is my superpower. It's like I can touch books and understand their origins.
Coming up to Halloween, I work at a bookstore and I asked my manager, hey, I've never actually read that many scary stories before. What do you recommend? And she very aggressively said that I should read The Shining. For those of you who don't know, it's a Stephen King novel about Jack Torrance getting a job at a rundown hotel, and his family, and especially his son, who has psychic powers and who is part of The Shining. He's a shiner.
Isn't that a bruise? So I was planning initially on doing a series of spooky reads this year, but much like other things this year, it's just kind of fallen through. This book is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira, and it's basically murder mermaids. So I bought the book.
Murder? Mermaids.
I have not. I don't really know too much about the plot of this, but both Emily, who's part of our Swell book club, has said it's awesome, and Ellie's co-worker Rachel also said it was incredible today. So I can't wait to read about murder mermaids.
So the next one is another RPG. So it's a Dungeons and Dragons style game, but just there's like the rule book and the storyline. So this one's set in World War II. It's based on Soviet airwomen and you play as an entirely female cast, or it can be people dressed up as females, and basically you're all working on a female pilot team, and you have to have teamwork. Yeah.
Okay. I really hope that turns up on the camera.
Okay. Otherwise it's just us all here, nothing.
Next we're talking about like spooky things, and I'm like, I'm sorry, girls.
So just a bunch of Soviet women in World War II on a fighter pilot team, and you're all just fighting between base to base, and it just seemed like a really cool concept that I'm now going to force Ellie and maybe Becky to play.
This book is my new pride and joy. This is a copy of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And I know you may look at my bookshelf and think, you already have 4 copies of this book, why do you need another one? I'll give you one reason as to why I have a copy of this book. I'm just gonna show you Diagon Alley, and it's fold out.
It's interactive!
It is so interactive. There are so many pages that have, like, even the letter addressed to Mr. H. Potter over here. You open the letter and you have what he needs for school and the letter from McGonagall. It's
a wonderful, immersive way to indulge into the world further of, you know, Harry Potter and the Wizarding World. It's absolutely beautiful. And I think it's really cool for us as Swell to kind of look at things like this that are really pushing the bounds of how you can tell a story and playing with medium and form.
Also, there might be controversy because of a person, but it's bought to help support the artists.
yes,
Involved. There's more people involved than one person.
my pride and joy. I love it. I genuinely do not regret buying this book.
My next book that I chose was Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, and I probably butchered the way I said that name completely. This is a Japanese book, and it's one of the favourite books of one of my favourite booktubers drinking by my shelf. So I bought it, and it's like a nice little quick read, so I think that this will be
And
a fun...
it's pretty!
And it's
so
gorgeous.
pretty.
So I bought this today. I bought some books today that I probably shouldn't have bought.
With my discount.
At least just when your sister has a discount at a bookstore, you take advantage of the discount at the bookstore. Support your bookstores. And so I am. This is a bookstore that is a bookstore, a cafe in which people come and they have a way that they can travel in time and explore like past versions. And I don't fully understand what's happening with that, but it's a coffee store and there's time travel. And I think that sounds pretty great. So I'm going to read it.
Time travel?
All of my books are just 2 things blended into one.
So my next one is also an RPG. Again, if like working in a bookstore, if you work in a board game / RPG store, you're just going to be walking home with a bunch of things.
Yeah.
And we've recently gotten a bunch of indie RPGs in, so it's not all just Dungeons and Dragons things. It's lots of small authors and small short stories. And this is the Labyrinth. You can play in the Labyrinth. That's all I have to say. It's so pretty, and it's hardcover too. And I really need you to see this. It's so pretty.
The gold foiling.
So this RPG is more story-based through the Labyrinth, and there's artwork throughout. And
There's dice!
Yeah, there's free dice.
there's dice. I don't know if I can do this out. There's dice!
I'm scared. Because the last time I opened that book, I opened it from the middle and the dice actually fell out.
Also, people play RPGs. There's 3 separate bookmarks. I just need to point that out. It's so helpful. Again, another one I'm gonna force at least one person to play.
I'm just saying, at what point did you think I was going to argue this? You told me, oh, there's a Labyrinth book now, and I'm like, okay, let me get my big leather pants on. Like, what do you want me to do? Now, this next one is probably the one that I know the least about, but because I work in a bookstore, and because my friends know that my all-time favorite book is The Night Circus, I was told that I absolutely have to read this book that came out recently called Feathertide. Now, once again, I don't actually know a whole lot about this book.
It has no name.
It does have no names.
And pirates.
Yeah, honestly, it literally said on the back, like, Feathertide is an enchanting novel, perfect for fans of Erin Morgenstern's The Night Circus, and I was like, oh, well, fine, that's fine with me. Mermaids, pirates, sure.
It's like a case of searching for identity with
Pirates and mermaids.
and bird-like feathers.
She was born covered in the feathers of a bird and kept hidden in a crumbling house full of secrets and unanswered questions. If that doesn't sound appealing to you, then we can't be friends. Sorry.
Second last one for the month for me was a book I already own and love, and you know how much I love Patrick Ness. This is the hardcover version of Burn. Ellie very kindly allowed me to read her advanced copy of Burn, which I devoured in less than 24 hours. It's my favorite. And I absolutely loved it. It's one of my, probably is my favorite Patrick Ness book so far. But the advanced copy,
every book.
no, I think this is it. I think this is the number one.
So,
but like the advanced copy looks the same. It's a paperback, not a hardback, which is also it's a hardback. So I don't want to get it. But it doesn't have a dragon on the cover, and I really want the dragon. This is a really cool story about like an alternate Earth. We follow this young mixed race girl kind of dealing with the racism that she is dealing with as someone who is African American. We watch her fall in love with a Japanese boy, and we watch her befriend a dragon, which this world really frowns upon dragons. And
Do they learn how to train it?
No, it's a dragon, girl! We're talking about how to train a dragon. Okay. I acknowledge it.
I got you, it's okay.
On the back, it says Patrick Ness is an insanely beautiful writer by John Green. He's correct. I bought this book. I was planning to read it many times, so I purchased the copy because also I want to support the artist that I love.
Yeah.
And this is a way that I can support and ask Patrick Ness to keep writing because I love him.
This one I bought like a couple weeks before we settled on the book club. I love the movie. Some people think I'm weird because of that, but I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it as a child, so I don't have trauma connected to it. So I love the story of Coraline. I love like the unnerving side of things, but still in a child way. And you know, it's just a cool story that leads you to many open theories about what this could be about.
If you're interested in hearing more about our opinions on this book, just click on that comment over there. Right above Bethany's head on the little eye.
My last book that I purchased was this hickin' chonker of a book, Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. And this is about, there's a kind of murder that happens in the past where
A kind of murder or a murder?
It is a murder.
Is it mostly dead?
There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
There is two girls who are suspected lovers in the 1900s who turn up dead.
Okay.
We don't know if they're
Okay, now I understand the kind of murder thing.
and so they're at a school, a boarding school, and you know, they die. There's a few other deaths that happen and school gets shut down. Years later, a film crew of all-female actresses comes back to the school, and then there's mystery involved in that. And I saw this today at the bookstore. Ellie showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's a title. I love it." Read the blurb. I love that even more. And then there's also illustrations in the book.
Oh, okay, I'm going to
And so if we haven't figured out yet if there's illustrations in a book, especially if it's an adult book, I feel like I've always loved illustrated books as a child. So as an adult, seeing illustrated versions of stories, I'm totally into it. So yeah, it's a chonker, and I'm not very good at reading long form fiction, but there's pictures.
Lastly, we wanted to talk about the book that we bought for our Swell book club for this month. Ta-da! The Left-Handed Booksellers of London.
Yes!
Yeah. By Garth Dix, which I've never actually read a Garth Dix novel.
No, I haven't read one either.
I have been really wanting to.
We were trying to pick something for our next book club, and we had a few different ideas floating around, and one of Ellie's main suggestions was she wanted a fantasy read. And then this was one of the ones that I posted, and then Ashley in the car, because we were driving home from work, so I was like, oh, what about this one? The Left-Handed, yep.
Yeah.
Booksellers.
I'm left-handed, yeah.
Of London. I'm into it. And there's like a secret society. Into it.
I like secret society.
In the 80s.
Yes. So it was just like
Ticking all my
all
boxes.
of these things that we got excited about, and I don't know, it just sounds pretty freaking cool.
If you're interested in magic, in booksellers, in murder, actual legitimate murder, it's not kind of murder anymore, so.
This one's proven murder.
Yeah.
If you want to join our book club, definitely get your hands on a copy and join our Swell Book Club on Facebook, in which you can get the link to join our Zoom discussion. That'll be in early December. Woo!
Oh yikes, December.
I know, right? It's coming up so quick. Thank you for coming with us through these books that we've recently hauled. I hope you liked it. If you have any comments about ones that are here that you think, whether you like them or didn't like them, pop them down below. Or if there's anything you'd like to see us read in the future, definitely recommend them as well. Definitely go subscribe and click the bell down below. Check out some of our previous videos.
Support us by buying.
We got buying a book called I Love You More Than.
Get ready for Christmas. Get all your Christmas cards and gifts in one. And free postage to anyone who's in Australia. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!